What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Juan Gotti back with another video, man. And as you can see by the title, it's that day. It's that time that we all been waiting for ever since the preseason started, man. The final cuts happened. The team has been trimmed from 84 to 53, or however many players it was on the roster before this day. It's trimmed. And for those players that's out of a job now, I just want to give y'all some words of encouragement. Better luck next time, man. I'm sorry that you didn't make this team, but don't give up on your dreams, man. Another team will end up calling, whether that's a starting position, practice squad, whatever. Take advantage of it. Keep working. You're gonna eventually have another job soon. Just unfortunately, God had other plans, and here, unfortunately, it wasn't here in Washington. So, with that being said, keep fighting for your dreams, man. You're gonna eventually make it big for all the players that didn't make it big. Didn't make it on this roster. Anyways, with that out the way, let's get straight into who uploaded the video. Okay, let's get straight to it, man. I thought it was Ed Oliver or some other Redskins creator, but let's get straight to it, man. Let's go. We're going to be discussing who made the 53-man roster, who didn't make the roster. So let's go. Hail to them Redskins. Like this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications. Starting off with the quarterbacks. I have it pulled up on my TV right here. Starting off with the quarterbacks, we already know who the quarterbacks is. Case Keenum, Colt McCoy, and Dwayne Haskins. Now, it's not really to talk about because we already knew this was going to happen. It's not no big surprises that really took place with this, but I just have a feeling that Dwayne Haskins will pull a Baker Mayfield. You know how Baker Mayfield sat out the first 2 weeks last season, and Tyrod Taylor got hurt, and they pulled him, and Baker Mayfield came in versus the Jets Thursday Night Football, and they won that game. They was 1-1-1. They really could have started off 3-0, but if it wasn't for that field goal kicker. Can you imagine Browns 3-0? Now moving on, we have the halfbacks. We have 5 running backs. We have Adrian Peterson, Darius Geis, Chris Thompson, Byron Marshall, and Sean Wilson. Now, it's not really a surprise, but it kind of is at the same time. So that means Samaje Perine got cut. Finally, they answered my prayers. They finally cut Samaje Perine, bro. I've been wanting Samaje Perine gone since not the day we got him, because I had faith for Samaje Perine, just like how I had, faith for Robert Kelly and Matt Jones. I had faith for them guys, man, because they showed flashes. But once again, they really weren't talented really enough, for the NFL level. But those were Jay Gruden guys, so he kept them around. Just like Colt McCoy, Samaje Perine was one of Jay Gruden guys. But he finally came to a sense that Samaje Perine won't be able to, be good in Washington. He had 427 rushing yards in a game in his college days, but maybe he'll find somewhere else in the NFL to play for, but just not here in D.C., man. Moving on. I'm very surprised that, I think his name was Craig Reynolds, number 22, the running back. I'm very surprised he didn't make this team. He showed some signs of, being a good running back, not to start, but a good running back just to, be for depth and practice squad. Maybe practice squad. But just showing depth. Showing talents and flashes that he'll be good for this team. Or maybe another NFL team that he's not on it. But Craig Reynolds, I'm very surprised that he didn't make this team, because he would have been very good for depth, man. Would have been very good. So moving on, we have Sean Wilson, number 31. Made the team, not surprised at all. Had very good. He had a very good kick return or punt return, one of them, and some very few good runs before he got hurt. I forgot what he hurt, but he went down with an injury, but it's a minor injury, so he'll be ready for the season if the injuries get that bad to the point where he has to start or whatever. So moving on to the wide receivers, man. We got 6 receivers, and you see the smile on my face because my 2 guys made the roster, and they finally cut that trash can, man. Josh Doctson. I almost butchered his name right there. Josh Doctson, man. Whatever the dude's name is, he's already out of my head, That's why I'm saying I almost butchered his name. Man, I can make a whole separate video about Josh Doctson, man. Literally, I can make a whole separate video about Josh Doctson. This is how bad he was for us. We literally took him first round in the draft, where we could have took Michael Thomas, Laquan Treadwell. The Vikings just got rid of him too. So the Vikings kind of have a Josh Doctson situation going on in Minnesota. We could have took Michael Thomas, Laquan Treadwell, and Tyreek Hill. We had those three options on the board, but for some reason, I'm not going to be like I wasn't on the train, because I was on the train. I was on board with getting Josh Doctson because I thought he was good. I didn't really know who Michael Thomas was, but now I do. So just thinking back to that draft where we could have had Michael Thomas, I'm mad that we didn't take him. We took Josh Doctson. Really thought he was gonna be promising, but they gave him another shot because of injuries. Of course, he's injured for like the first 2 years. We can't control that, so we can't give up on our first rounder, man. It's our first rounder, but he just wasn't able to produce. Now it's going to be a lot of people saying that we didn't use him right, but I mean, you still didn't produce. But I mean, I can say that he had to get used to a quarterback almost every year for his time with the Redskins, unless for like the first 2 years where he had Kirk as his quarterback. But other than that, Kirk threw the ball to him, had a big drop. But I think it was versus the Chiefs, in the back of the end zone, and the Raiders, or Chiefs or Raiders, one of them. But he had a big drop, and Kirk just lost faith in them. So really, Josh Doctson he just wasn't meant for Washington. Now my big thing is, I have a feeling that Josh Doctson will go to another team with very good quarterback. I was gonna say Drew Brees, but no, they have Michael Thomas. But I'm just saying, somebody like a Phillip Rivers, maybe. Who knows? Maybe a Phillip Rivers. We cut him. The Chargers don't really have another receiver besides Keenan Allen. Maybe Keenan Allen right there, Mike Williams, whatever his name is, and Josh Doctson, maybe. Then I heard that he's homesick. He wants to go see what his family be in Texas, but the Cowboys isn't going to pick him up. Maybe the Texans, Deshaun Watson, if they get rid of Will Fuller, maybe Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins and Josh Doctson, maybe. He has a few teams, maybe the Steelers, who knows. I'm just naming some people with good quarterbacks that can, maybe help him be better as a player. But I really don't think that's going to help change anything else. But Josh Doctson, man, his time, he just wasn't meant for Washington, and it was finally time to move on for him. Now, moving on to the wide receivers that's on our team that made the roster. Paul Richardson, of course. Trey Quinn, of course. Terry McLaurin, of course. Kelvin Harmon, Robert Davis, and Steve Sims, man. I'm very happy with our wide receiving core. I'm very happy. Young, all of them receivers on there haven't proved themselves, but practice, man. Practice makes perfect, man. And all of those guys on that list is hard workers, man. Really is. Really is, man. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this receiving core to shock some people. If whether that's this year or next year, because maybe not be this year because we don't have a Tom Brady under center, man. Tom Brady can make anybody look good, but we have Case Keenum under center, bro. And I can't really, count on him to, make this team look good. So maybe when Dwayne Haskins get the start, maybe they'll be better. Who knows? But I'm very surprised they cut Cam Sims. But you can't drop passes, man. When the opportunity presents itself, you have to take full advantage of it. But you drop passes, you can't do that in the fourth preseason game when they're looking to this is your time to shine, man. No starters is playing. You're supposed to ball out. But Dwayne Haskins gave him 2 wide open passes. Maybe the first ball I heard that it was a little, not a perfect pass, but you're an NFL receiver. You're supposed to catch that. Boom, he drops that. Dwayne Haskins come back to him. He catches it. I mean, he perfect pass, and he drops it. That shows you that Dwayne Haskins had faith in you, man. But you dropped it. So when the opportunity presents itself, take full advantage of it next time, Cam Sims. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back for the practice squad. But as of right now, Cam Sims is, cut. I really had Cam Sims making his team because he had a solid preseason, man, until the 4th game. He had an okay preseason. But he just dropped a lot of balls. Not even in the 4th game, in the previous games, he dropped a lot of passes. So that's one of the receivers that didn't make it. Cam Sims. They cut who else they cut? They cut the tight end trying to think. I forgot his. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. But they also cut Brian Quick. I'm so happy that they cut Brian Quick, man. I don't know what is their thing with Brian Quick. They cut him, then a couple months later they re-sign him. What's their thing with Brian Quick? I don't really see it in Brian Quick, man. Last time he was relevant was when he was with the Rams. He wasn't even relevant that good there. But yeah, those are our 6 receivers right there. I cannot wait to see what this receiver core have in store next week versus Philly. It's going to be a good test for them, man. Philly has a good defense. And then we have to face the Cowboys. So this will be a good test for them the first 2 weeks. And that's really going to tell us how our season playing out. So moving on to the tight ends, of course, Jordan Reed made it. Vernon Davis made it. I love Vernon Davis, man. And Jeremy Sprinkle. I don't know how I feel about Jeremy Sprinkle, man. And Jeremy Sprinkle, Mr. Dropsies, dropping passes, but he'll get better over time. But apparently they love Jeremy Sprinkle because they had him on for about 3 years already, man. I'm surprised they didn't keep Matt Flanagan or the other guy. I still can't remember his name. But moving on to the offensive line, not really too much to say about the tight ends, man. We already know what we're going to get out of the tight ends, man. Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis. We know what we're going to expect from them. Jordan Reed, concussion, getting better. Should be ready for week 1. We'll be very surprised if he's not, but he is looking good, man. Moving on to the offensive line, Donald Penn, Eric Flowers, Chase Roulier, Brandon Sheriff, Morgan Moses, and Martin Ross, Pierce Berger, Tony Bertram, and Jerron Christian. Them names in there is really like 3 of those names in there is really fighting for us, fighting for the left tackle spot since Trent Williams don't want to show up. Jerron Christian, well, not in my opinion, but people are saying that he's trash. I really think he should get the starter left tackle over Donald Penn, but they're gonna most likely go over Donald Penn because he's the veteran. But Donald Penn, he looks solid in preseason, but that first game they all looked terrible. The whole line looked terrible. But Donald Penn looked solid. After that, Eric Flowers surprisingly did okay, but still is the human turntable, like Eric Oliver like to say. He's the human turntable, man. His run blocking is solid, but he just something about the pass blocking that is just not there. Moving on to, I really didn't see anything this preseason out of Wes Martin and Pierce Berger. I really didn't see anything out of them. Tony Bertram, didn't really see anything out of him, but that's just, I guess, just those guys are there for depth. But I really want Wes Martin. I just want to see what is he capable of. I heard that he can play all across the line. Really, I'm not really sure about the left side, but I know he can play across the line, like the right side and stuff like that. But I just want to see more. I don't know, more out of the draft picks that we drafted, one from Alabama, and I forgot what school Wes Martin went to. Or what's his name? Yeah, West Martin. There we go. Yeah, West Martin. Moving on, man, to the D-line. I'm sorry, I have it pulled up on my TV and I can't really see. Moving on to the D-line, we have Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle, and Kyle Brantley. Don't really need to talk about them guys. That's the heart of our defense right there. Everybody on that front 7 right there is dominant that I just named. Well, as far as the D-line, I meant, sorry about that, but Jonathan Allen, monster. Deron Payne, monster. Matt Ioannidis, monster. We got to keep him around for a very long time, man. Matt Ioannidis, he's that kind of guy that, you know, he's like a guy that was slept on, that is proven the world, man. I love Matt Ioannidis, bro, especially when healthy. He was fighting injuries last year, which everyone was, but he was fighting injuries. I just can't wait to see what he do when healthy and when he get his time, because we know he's not really gonna. He's like a rotator, you know what I mean? He comes in when Deron Payne needs to sit out, when, you know, or maybe in some formations they will all be on the field together. Who knows? Moving on to Kyle Brantley. I loved what I seen out of Kyle Brantley, man. Kyle Brantley was very good. I loved Tim Settle too. I just wish we never cut my man. Oh man, I'm trying to. It slipped my mind, but he's a DMV native. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Put it in the comments. Can't think of his name right off the back of my head. I can't think of his name, but he's a DMV native, man. Moving on to the linebackers, man. The outside linebackers, we have Ryan Kerrigan, Ryan Anderson, Montez Sweat, Casanova McKenzie, and Jordan Belford right there. not too much. It's like with this defense, we don't really need to talk about nothing with this defense. Really, this defense is good, man. And everyone that made the defense is that in my opinion is no shocker, bro. No shocker. Casanova McKenzie suffered a concussion. Should be ready by week 1. Can't wait to see what he can do on the big stage, man. I love Casanova McKenzie. And for them other guys, man, we know what they capable of. Got to see more of Montez Sweat, though. Can't wait to see what he can do. And other guys, Ryan Kerrigan. That's it on the list for that really, proven itself. Besides Ryan Anderson, I guess you could say Ryan Anderson proved himself a little bit. But I got to see more out of Ryan Anderson, too, also. So moving on to the inside linebackers, they got my man SDH right there, Sean Dion Hamilton. I love that guy for some reason, man. He's just like, he's small, but he's quick. He's fast for me to play inside linebacker. I love Sean Dion Hamilton. John Bostic, I love that guy too, man. I just something about, you know how like when you get them new players and you don't really see him, but he just stands out. And the reason why he stands out is because of that dark visor that he wears, bro. That dark visor just makes him stand out, bro. I love it. And moving on to the Cole Holcomb made the list, of course, and Josh Harvey Clemens made the list. I love both of them. SDH and JHC, I love it. I love them guys, man, literally. But they have to, work and prove themselves because they're going to be asked to play some big roles this season, man. Moving on to the cornerbacks, Josh Norman, Quentin Dunbar, Fabian Monroe, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Greg Stroman, and Jimmy Moreland, bro. I'm surprised Jimmy Moreland's the last name on the list. I don't know if it's any kind of order, but how the depth chart is going to look, but I'm surprised he's last on the list. Now, I was saying some things saying that Greg Stroman should be cut, and they don't really like DRC, but I really like DRC, man. He's a veteran. He's going to bring that veteran mentality to this team, and he's going to be very good for this team when called upon. Greg Stroman still needs a lot of work. I remember last year he played like 20 yards off when we played Tampa Bay. I still don't understand, but Greg Stroman should be good, and I don't want him returning kicks. I just don't want him returning kicks because I really believe that we really haven't had a solidified kick returner and punt returner since Brandon Banks, and I really believe that we had that now within Steven Sims. So we should let him take over the kick returning duties. Moving on to the safeties, we have Landon Collins, Monte Nicholson, Deshae. I call him Deshae. Deshae Everett, Troy Akpe. No surprise there. Knew all of them safeties was going to make it. Troy Akpe, I want to see more out of him, man. He had a very solid preseason when played. Everybody else on that list, Deshae Everett, we had him on there for a long time, but he's just a very good special teamer, man. And if he has to play any safety this year, then he's going to be good. But we just really got Deshae for special teams. So moving on to the reserves, we have Bryce Love is the only one on reserves, and the last thing the one on the list is that did not report was Trent Williams. So that's the whole 53-man roster. This video is very long, 18 minutes long. I hope you guys sit through it and watch the whole video. If you made it this far, comment HTTR down below. If you like this video, leave this video a like, subscribe, comment, turn on post notifications, and hell to them skins, man. We're coming for Philly this Sunday. The season starts this Thursday. I'm so hyped. Green Bay versus Packers. Tell me who you guys got down below. I got the Bears because I picked them in my fantasy. But that's the 53-man roster for our Washington Redskins. Tell me if you guys are mad that somebody didn't make the team or is surprised they made the team. Tell me how you guys feel about this roster, man. I love this roster, man. And it's full of young talent that's just going to only get better. So, hail to them Redskins. Hail to every DC Sports, man. Let's get it, man. Can't wait. Like this video, subscribe. If you're new, give me to 1,000 subscribers so I can stream. Shout out to Ed Oliver and all them guys, man. Peace. Hail to them Redskins. Let's go.